Hey everybody, it's Old Man Bull Market here. So as you saw from the thumb of this video, I've managed to do the initial clear of Necropolis. Yes, I've done it. Now if someone like me can do it, then there's a lot of hope that everybody can do it. So I just thought I'd share a completion guide on the team I selected, the paths I selected. That's right, paths. And just give you my 2 cents worth on how I managed to get through it, and you know, how many revives and other bits and pieces I used for this Everest piece of content. So let's not muck around, let's roll the tape. Okay, so this is the team I used, and it was AEgon. Had to go with AEgon because he's the brute force champion of the whole game. So that's a rank 5 200 SIG ascended AEgon, and I've also got Shuri because you do need her for the path I took. Wiccan because he's got immunity to reverse control. He really only has one job, and that's at the end of the fight with the Grey Master when he's got the 1%. And then you've got backup. Backup is Heimdall. Trust me, you want him in there because these opponents that you're up against have very, very big attack levels. So if they happen to SP3 you and you're on 50% health, they'll KO you, knock you out. But if you've got Heimdall there, you quickly get the indestructible, and you basically go back to that 50% life again, so you can keep on trucking. He's going to save you so many revives, trust me, have him in there. And then White Mags. Now White Mags is really important in my opinion. I think a lot of people have dissed him. They've gone through Nick for someone like Nick Fury instead to get the bigger attack boost. The thing is, if you've got heroes in your account, he instantly gives 8% attack bonus. But if you apply his pre-fight, you get an extra 15%. So that takes you to 23%. And of course, the pre-fight also gives passive stuns, and that comes really handy when you're fighting Attuma. So, which we'll come across when we get into it. Now, all up, there's 15 fights. I'll try and spend a minute on each because I'm mindful of how long the video will be. But that was the team I selected, and yeah, no, it worked pretty well. I've got some scribbly notes here about how many revives and things like that I spent. And here we go. So I'm just going to follow the path that I took. So the first fight was with Mr. Fantastic, and why did I choose that? Well, because I'm no bloody good at fighting Titania. I don't like how she's got her haymakers and they pause, the unblockable and all that sort of stuff, and then the particular node. But Mr. F's handy because you use that fight there to really ramp up your AEgon. You need to get him up, and if I can recall correctly, I got my AEgon up to about 416 before I flattened Mr. F. Now, along the way, I spent 8 revives. It's just, you have to do it because you're in the fight and you're building up, your charges, you're ramping up, and then you just got to quit out and make sure you're locking those, particular ramp ups. Now, notice I don't have Prox and Midnight here or Star-Lord, so I've got no combo blanket. I just didn't want to waste up a space with one of them, and so I just had to play him 8 times. It's okay, it was part of the strategy. But one tip I do want to share is when I went into fighting Mr. F, I had full suicides on, which for Aegon's not a problem, that's what you want. But then, as you'll see, we go to the second fight, and the second fight here is Namor. Now, Namor has one of these unique scenarios that he takes 100% less damage unless he's inflicted with a damaging debuff. So that's where Shuri comes in, because she's, the shock queen. She just apply the shocks and the critical shocks, so that's why she's excellent for him. The thing is, she's not that great for content if you've got suicides on, so then I had to go in and readjust my attack masteries and take suicides off, and just then keep those aside for when I really needed to reapply them onto AEgon again. So that's a little tip I would give here, is if you're going to start this path with a team similar to what I did, don't turn suicides on. Just readjust them, have them ready to go, but don't turn them on, because ramping up AEgon against Mr. F doesn't require the suicides at all. Okay, then we get to the third fight here. Oh, sorry, and Namor, he cost me 4 revives. So there you go, that's how great I am. Then we go over to Attuma. Now, this is why, you know, White Mags is handy, because you apply your pre-fight, it then means Shuri, because Shuri's really good against him because all her contacts are energy, so there's no physical, so, you know, the Attuma kit can't blow back on you, and the pre-fight of White Mags gives a passive stun, so when you passively stun, or you parry stun Attuma, you will stun him, and then you can lay into him, whereas if you don't have it there, he basically shakes it off straight away, and if you then try and attack, he usually counters you. So that's where White Mags really helped, and oddly enough, it only cost me 3 revives, you know, to knock him down, so very happy there. Getting him down. Then we come up to Airwalker. Now, I made also the mistake here of then turning back on my suicides, because I thought, oh, Airwalker, I've read all the stuff about how bad he was, but he is bad. He's a real bad hombre. The worst thing about him is this power of Galactus buff that he's got. Means every 15 seconds you basically got to knock him on his ass, otherwise he'll trigger that. And then when he triggers that, he then just gets this huge amount of regen, and if you just look at it like, oh, look at that regen, all of a sudden all the work you put into it's going to just disappear, so you got to quit out and, you know, then go back in and keep going. And of course he's also got his cosmic buff, and you get the 3 of them, he's just putting on the power like you wouldn't believe as well. So he's a real pain in the ass, let's be honest. Now, to show you just how much of a pain in the arse he was for me, I'd used 12 revives on this puppy. The good news was it was with AEgon, and I also then managed to get my AEgon ranked up to about 586, so that also helped. But he's doable, but just remember, you got to flatten him every 15 seconds, so you got to do that. Alright, then we go to Captain Britain. Now, Captain Britain, again, you need, in my opinion, Shuri here, really good. She's got this particular node that just makes it hard with AEgon, and it's this cyclonic control. Whenever a debuff is purified off the attacker, their controls are reversed for 4 seconds. Well, ramping up your AEgon, he's going to do that. He's going to basically, you know, purify a lot of debuffs very quickly, and then of course you're into reverse controls, and if you're like me, you're bloody no good at reverse controls, so you try to avoid reverse controls where you can. So Shuri's good for this because it hardly ever kicks in, and of course, you know, she can apply the damaging shock and critical shocks, and that helps there. And I also applied White Mags as well for the extra boost. Remember, when you start off with White Mags, you've got 7 charges, you lose 2 per fight, so you can get 3 fights out of him. But what I also do with White Mags is, in this case, I was down to, I was nearly out with Shuri. I literally 2% left, so I basically just died. I then took my White Mags in, flattened her for the last 2%, without earning 2 more charges. So now going forward through the paths, I've now got 2 more choices or chances to use my White Mags. Now, that was the first 5 fights. Now, this is also very important in my opinion. What you then need to do is take a break. Just take a break, decompress, go do some stuff, hang with your family, do what you do. I did the particular run last Sunday, and I started like at 8:30 in the morning, and then I got to the first 5 fights down, and then I was done. Just went out with my wife, went some sort of breakfast, and went for a walk around where we live, took it easy, and I just didn't even think about it until probably about 1:30 that afternoon. So having breaks is really important, because these are long fights and you can get easily frustrated. So that's probably a very important tip I'd want to share. Take the breaks where you can. So then we go down to Wiccan. Now Wiccan, I thought, Wiccan, he's not that tough. He's doing nothing burger. He's pretty easy. He's a pain in the ass because his SP1 gives him 7% health. So, and he likes to chuck it that a lot. He does chuck it a lot. Now his particular local node is these spell slot things. In itself, they're not very difficult, so you don't really need to worry about that. But you know, I used AEgon here, and this is the point also about the suicides or with your masteries. So again, my recommendation is don't have them on for the first 5 fights. When you get to Wiccan, who's your 6th fight, then turn them on. Then go into, turn them on, because from here on, all the way to the Grandmaster, all you're going to use is AEgon. All the other guys are just going to sit on their ass. They're now just support cast. You're going to go AEgon all the way, so put your suicides on, and then run there. And what you do is take out points out of your masteries, out of the defensive side. You only need to have like 6 points in there for the basic stuff. Make sure you've got Assassin fully ranked up. I only had 1 in Deep Wounds because to me it's not a real big deal, because it's really a duration thing, it's not a potency thing. And then obviously run the full suicides, but only obviously have 1 in recoil, don't be chewing up too much damage from recoil. And you also want to put 4 or 3 into the pacify mastery, past stun and all that sort of stuff in the proficiency ones, because that when you parry heavy Dragonman later on helps slow down his power gain, but I'll touch on that again. So with Wiccan, they cost me 8 revives there, and Captain Britain, cost me 6. So just going back, sorry to do this muddling up, so on the first 5 fights all up, I used 33 revives, and then I'm going to the next 6 to 10 opponents, because like I said, I had that break. Then we come to Psycho Man. He's not that much of a big deal. His node's not really much of a big deal. It just cycles through some commands, randomly selects heavy attack, special attack, and block attack, and if anything, it's sort of probably teach you to get in line and learn from when you're going to fight the Grandmaster. It's really not that difficult. When I finished him up, AEgon was now ranked at 854, so we're really powerful there. And I only just spent 4 revives on Psycho Man. He was really no big deal at all. So you move through there, get onto the link, fire it across, takes you over the other section. Now this is where I've done something different. As you can see here, I started what I think is called Path 2, the Mr. Fantastic path. So normally if you continue your path, I should be tackling off now and going to fight Apocalypse, but I didn't do that. Instead, I purposely went off path, I believe this is Path 1 now, to fight Guardian. Now, why did I do that? Now, it's pretty much because of the node that's active on this section, and it's Protective Guard. Whenever the attacker ends a combo for the same attack they ended their previous combo with, that attack has a 100% chance to be auto-blocked. Well, guess what? If your Aegon is really ramped up, it doesn't matter, because he'll just completely shut down that node, and you don't care about it, and it makes the fight a lot easier. So jumped in there, took on Guardian, and Guardian for me, again with Aegon, 4 revives. I was a bit sloppy here and there, you get chipped and all that sort of stuff. And then I got basically my Aegon then was now at 999, so happy days there. We go up to Valkyrie. Now Valkyrie is interesting because she's got this funny little, dragon fang thing where she's got to have a pierce passive on her, otherwise when she issues or does a special, she doesn't have that pierce passive on her, then she won't use any power on her specials. So you can see the problem there. So what you've got to do is just take a few hits, block, big hit, she gets the pacify, pierce, and then she'll start throwing her specials, and you just lay into her again, with Aegon, and absolutely buy the absolute crap out of her there. Funnily enough though, she still cost me 5 revives and all that sort of stuff. Then we get to one of 2 very easy fights here. This is Red Guardian. Red Guardian is pretty easy. He's got this shield thing, which to be honest, I read it once and went, that sounds like a nothing burger. The big thing there is that phase 3, when he gets below 40% health, every 12 seconds, both champs get an unblockable passive. I just smashed through him with Aegon. It actually cost me just 1 revive. I was a bit pissed because I thought I could solo him and go, yeah, I soloed at least 1, but I didn't. But anyway, got him down for 1. So that's what I would call, that's the next 5 fights. So fights 6 through 10. And that section I did better than the first section, but I'd ramp up there, remember Aegon, and that was 22 revives cost there. So far I'm on 55 revives. In the game, but hey, it's just part and parcel of what you got to do. Then I took another break, like before, because this is important. You got to take these breaks. So that I sort of started this second section, as I call it, around about 1:30, and then I really didn't come back to the final phase of it until around about 6 o'clock my time on that Sunday. So then we'll keep moving along. We'll now go up to Sam Wilson, Captain America. Another thing he's got here is got this, defender blocks and attack, inflicted with rupture and all that sort of stuff. To me, he wasn't that tough at all. I'm usually pretty good at fighting him. Remember, I've got a fully ranked up AEgon now. It still cost me 3 revives. That was because he got to his SP2 and then, attached artificial eagle thing that flies off him and quickly shoots. If you don't time that to perfection in terms of your decks, you can get clipped anyway. Cost me 3 there. Life goes on. Now we get to Dragonman. Now, Dragonman, I reckon they're pain for people. I actually, again, smashed him again with AEgon, not a problem. The one tip I would suggest, because you've got white mags in your team, is do not apply his pre-fight here, because you want to just do a normal parry stun, so the pacify part of that mastery kicks in and it just slows down his power gain. You can use white mags anywhere else, but just not here. He costs 3 revives, so got him down. I was probably lucky in the sense that he did a lot of SP2s and they're pretty easy to get out of the way. But once AEGON's going, and particularly with AEGON when you're ranked also at 999, don't hesitate to hold your block, get hit, and because they lay a quick combo and you, all of a sudden you've got 6 Furies. They're huge Furies, huge. Then you lay into your opponent and you're getting 75 to 80,000 crit hits, and that's how you melt these little bastards down. So got to be a bit tactful there, but it might mean obviously you're going to die quicker too. And then we get to another very easy fight. It's Beardo, 1 revive there. He was a nothing burger. He just cycles through his signature abilities. For me, he was doing a lot of SP1, so that's very easy to get out of the road. And his SP2s, he gives a bit of time, and you can just easily dex that. He was nothing. He was a nothing burger. Now, the second last fight is Nova. Nova can be a bit of a pain. Nova's got, what was it, this Nova Force thing, and this is about where he's basically got immunities, mainly on, Nullify and Fate Seal and stuff, so with AEGON it doesn't really matter. And then he gets, builds up his Nova Force charges. The most annoying thing about him is he can just, be hard to parry and, lay into. Long story short, I got him down in 6 revives, which, that's okay, I can handle that. And so in that section, excluding the Grand Master, we haven't got to him yet, he's a lot of fun. If I did my math right here, that's 13 revives used there. And then we've got, the Grand Master to come up against. And this is where it gets really, really interesting. Alright, you come over to him, you get over to there, and you fly over to that line, and there's the Grand Master, and you can see I've done him, and you're coming to him. Now, the thing I would recommend everyone do here, don't get it off me, is learn his 4 phases, and then go from there. Now, I again applied White Mag's pre-fight here because it gave AEGON an extra 13% plus the passive stun. Now that works in his first phase. Now the fight is so fast, either that or I'm slow, or probably that. It's hard to keep up with his first phase because he issues all these commands, and then he's got the green light, red light thing. Fortunately, that's pretty easy to spot because there's a big bloody green light on the top right, and you can see when he goes to the command red light, then that's when he'll freeze the game. It's just taken straight out of Squid Games. But all these other little commands that he gives along the way, I was just like, geez, I don't even have time to see that, because he's got these tactics, parry attack, use dexterity, land a light attack, and perform a takedown. And half the time, I just missed him, and then got wounded, the 3, and then he goes straight to his SP3, and he just wipes you out. But the good news is, AEGON is so bloody strong, he brute forces his way through. He just brute forces his way through. So you just get through that phase. Then you get to the phase 2, which is 59 to 30%, and so you can't stun him anymore and all that sort of stuff. And this is where he issues challenges, and again, you got to read more stuff. And again, the game's fast. It just goes to show these people out there who can cream this guy in one go and just Jedi Knights. But it's a lot to do, because you're trying not to get punched in the face, because if he lands a few good solid hits on you, you're dead. You know what I mean? You're out of it. So it's a bit to get going, and again, he's got the challenges, width of an attack, land a critical hit, perform an intercept, gain a buff, inflict a damaging effect. In case anyone doesn't know, width of attack would mean if you get that and you do read it, you just run back a bit and just hit your light and just do an air shot, and that's the width of an attack, just in case some people, it wasn't too well explained in my opinion. And then you just go through that mechanism, and again I just brute forced and got there, and I was able to smash him down. Then we get to, I think, one of the most annoying phases is phase 3. That's his 29 to 2% health, and the problem here is your controls are reversed. Now, it's annoying. It's very, very annoying. Now, I made the mistake thinking, well, I'll reverse controls. I'll just, go in there with Wiccan. Wiccan will be easy because he's... No, the problem there was Wiccan is not a rank 999 AEgon who's got instant damage out of the box. Wiccan's good, don't get me wrong, but you've got to play his motions, get his spells, build up, and action a few things. And then, of course, I had full suicides running again, and he's not suicide friendly, so I'm actually going against that as well. And that didn't help. And also, if you have immunity to reverse controls, you get hit a degen. So I'm up against, the suicides dropping back on Wiccan plus this degen, and I just killed him really quick because I hadn't used him yet. He had full bar health. So don't make that mistake. Just don't use him there. Just do this. Stay with AEgon. Just go in there. If he allows you reverse controls, just remember one thing. You're at 999. Just keep tapping on the right side. I use an iPad here. Tap right side. He's always unblockable, and he's unstoppable. So no matter what the Grand Master's doing, you're still going to lay into him, because that's the action that at least gets a punch going. And you do that enough times, you will beat the son of a bitch, and at least get him down then to the final fourth phase. And the final fourth phase is this bit where it's just got the 1%. You've got four key objectives here to do. I'm pretty sure it means you've got to do them in the order that they state. It's an intercept, an SP1, an SP2, and SP3. You've just got to play along with it. Now, this is where Wiccan comes in well, because there's no degen on reverse controls now. It's just standard reverse. Well, it's not standard reverse controls. It's really stupid reverse controls. It's a reverse control where you reverse one action and then it goes back to normal, the other action then reverses it. It would literally drive you insane. But if you have an immune champ such as Wiccan or Jugs, then it's really easy. It's just a normal gameplay. So what you just got to do is just play against the Grand Master. And I took off my suicides here because I was obviously getting the damage from the bleed and the poison. So just to save you, paying up more units on what you have to do. Went in, took off suicides, obviously left all the other things there, and basically you fight the Grand Master. You want to get him to do his SP1, so you dex his SP1, then he does that funny dice thing where he moves around, and then you got those 3 actions you got to do. You've either got to evade the beam, block the beam, or just run into the beam, and that then allows you obviously to keep building up your power. The first one's pretty easy, just to intercept him. It's not too hard. Then you'll see one of the icons on the right disappear, then SP1, another one of those disappears, SP2, another, etc, etc, and then you wear him down. I was probably a bit slightly on the uptake on this, because I probably wasted more revives here than what I should have, because I, to be honest, was probably a bit fatigued. So I got through, remember this is the final 5 fights, 11 to 15, and I was just frustrated, I think, in the phase 3 because of the reverse control stuff, and I was just literally like use revive. But I could see my brute forcing was getting my way through. So in the end, fighting the Grand Master, in the end, it was, you ready for this? 35 revives. 35 revives on him just to do all that sort of stuff. So, anyway, it is what it is. So there's a little bit of unit spend there because you're going to buy the 40% back up. And then, so that was on that. So then all up for those last 5 fights, because I incurred 13 prior to the Grandmaster. That was 48 revives, that final section that basically I spent there. So that was a bit. So anyway, it cost me well over 100 revives, but I'm not too worried about that. In the end of the day, I had nearly half already saved. That was just dumb luck on my part, because I didn't realise this content was coming up, and when it was announced, it was just one of those things to get them there. So then the rest you had to buy. Alright, so you go and buy batches of the revives. Every 40 you buy cost you 400 units. So I probably, it was around about 2,000 something units I would have spent, because I had to top them up. But considering what the loot you get, it's worth it from that point of view. Just look at the previous these Cyber Week deals that have been on offer here, and you look at what loot they actually can get you. And just see if I can bring that one back up on the screen here. If not, I'll just exit that. But the loot's just really, really nice. And of course, the name of the game here is on the loot. Yeah, there you go. You get a nice little title. You get a 6-star Maestro. You get a rank 1 to 2 gem. You get the rank 2 to 6 gem. No, crystal, sorry, not gem, crystal. So there's a bit of RNG, obviously, to work out who your class is. You get 2, what do they call them, 7-star class hero selectors, so you can pick the classes you're after. That's pretty handy. 10,000 Titan shards. A 6-star relic. You get the third piece of the Deathless bit, so that's important. And then you get an extra mastery point, which, to be honest, I didn't even notice, and I've used it already. So it's well worth it from that point of view. I'm going to do a rewards opening separate to this, so I'm not going to brag about it here. But that's my run. Hopefully it's helped. Like I said, I'm just old man bull market here. If I can do it, you can do it. Yes, alright, I might have brute force ways through, but hey, that's just sometimes what you've got to do. And I did think out the box. I took path 2, but then finished on path 1 for those reasons I outlined. The reward, by the way, by doing that was 200 of primordial dust. That's what you get for completing that path. That bit there. And if I had my time again to do it, knowing what I know now, of course, I would probably be 30 revives for the whole lot now, because I know how I could fight better, particularly in the Grandmaster. So anyway, went a bit longer now. It's nearly 28 minutes. I went off a bit. I just wanted to be a bit comprehensive. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Please write a few comments below if you've got something to say. Do the thumbs up, the usual thing. It helps on the algorithm. And you know what? I thank you very much for your time. Until the next video, see you later.